Hey Wanderers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a pretty exciting one because it is all about the snow season, and this video is going to be the introduction video to the next 3 months of training prep that I'm going to do to get ready for the snow season, to avoid things like the leg burn, and to do some really good core work that's good for like the rotation, and lots of leg work to support the knees. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I want to try and do with my snowboarding this year. I'm going to talk to you about the types of training that I'm doing and why, and I'm going to go through my starting point, doing the fitness tests, all 4 of them, and then run you guys through how you can do them as well on your own. So it is almost exactly, I think I'm like a couple of days off the snow season starting, so I have 12 weeks to start to see some results, and I'm very excited to bring you guys along in the journey with me. I'm gonna sit down with you guys and talk to you about what I was doing last year and what I want to do this year before I go into doing the fitness tests. So last year for me was definitely the year of like seeing a lot of changes with my snowboarding. I definitely felt that last year was the year that I started to get really comfortable on my board. So I started to be able to do things like jumping off the snow, doing some funky jumps, not really funky jumps, but I started to jump off the snow a little bit more, and I'll pop some videos in here for you now actually, so you can see what I'm talking about. I started to build up the confidence to go over like snowboard over jumps a little bit more, not necessarily jump over jumps. I started to get my board off the snow a little bit. And I also started to learn how to ride switch. So that was pretty, good as well, and I really want to practice that again this year. But in terms of, like I said, if you want my backstory, there is a video on my channel from me talking about how I grew up skiing and transitioned to snowboarding, and how I now get season passes for the snow. The main things that I want to try and get out of snowboarding this year is to try and get my board off the snow a little bit more in terms of height, so going over jumps and just building up my confidence a little bit more in that area. And I also want to try and go over boxes and rails a little bit more. I have never ever been over a rail at all, and I definitely want to. I have been over a box before, but I for some reason found them quite daunting last year and really wanted to focus on jumping and learning how to ride switch and buttering and those kinds of things. So I want to keep practicing those, but yeah, my goals, like I said, are jumping up a bit higher and jumping over the going over the rails and the boxes a little bit more. So in terms of my training plan, I need my phone. Okay, I have my phone. So I've broken my training down into 3 types of training. I'm definitely going to be doing balance training. I'm going to be doing muscle endurance training, so still strength training, but I will be upping my repetitions within the sets. And if you were wondering what I was doing before, you can check out my ab challenge video series. I'll provide a link up here if I remember. And then the last type of training that I'll be doing will be HIIT power training. So really thinking about things like jumping, jumping up quickly, jumping up high, and being able to kind of be reactive and powerful in your movements. And I'll try and do some videos of each workout as we go. If there's anything specific that you want to see, make sure you let me know. Otherwise, let's get into the fitness testing. Okay guys, so I will be using the Harvard step test. There's a couple of differences in this one compared to what you can get online. So this one, the step is a little bit higher, and also the metronome is set to a little bit lower. So I recommend that you use a step or a box height that is roughly 50 centimeters. If it is not 50 centimeters, it doesn't matter. You just have to make sure you use the same one to make sure the results are the same from beginning to end. So just make sure you use the same step. I'm really sorry about the cars in the background, please bear with me. I'm literally just in my garage. And the second thing is you need a metronome so that you can step on and off the step at the same time. You can download a metronome app, that's all that I'm gonna use. So I'll literally be setting the metronome to 60 and stepping on and off to every beat. So I'm gonna get started with that one first, and then I'm gonna go into the push-up, sit-up, and squat test. Okay, so I've just finished the 5-minute Harvard step test, and I did use my Apple Watch to record my heart rate. So I was stepping on and off the step every 2 seconds for 5 minutes, and I recorded my heart rate as soon at the 5-minute mark, at the 6-minute mark, and at the 7-minute mark. So when I was resting, 3 heart rates. The calculation is the total number of seconds times 100, which is 30,000, divided by the total of the 3 resting heart rate measurements. So my score was 158, and according to the table, that's up in excellent range. For the snow season, I'm not too worried about my fitness because I was already happy with my fitness. The main one is going to be the squat test. I'm now going to do the squat test, guys. So it's how many squats you can do in a minute. I'm going to make sure that my bottom touches the chair every time. That's a really important point to remember, to make sure that your bottom touches the chair every time. You can use, again, you can use any height, but make sure for the squat test specifically, you use the same step or chair every time you do the measurement, and it's how many you can do in a minute. So let's go. Okay, so the next one is the push-up test, and I'm gonna do it over here. Same thing, how many push-ups can you do in a minute? Usually if you had a buddy, you would get them to put their fist on the floor a little bit like this, and you would get their nose to touch the fist. But I don't have a buddy, so I'm gonna try and find an object to put down. So if you're wondering why that's there, it's the same concept as touching the base of the step with your bottom. It's just to make sure that the range is the same thing every time. And guys, I probably should have said it before, which I didn't, is that if you get to a point where you need to pause, then that is a signal that the completion of the test is done. Even if it's under a minute, that is your number. I recommend with the push-ups that you either pick toes or knees. Don't do a combination of the both because it just gets too confusing. And if you decide with toes and you don't finish the minute, it doesn't matter. Go with that number that you get to once you're done with the push-ups. I'm a little bit disappointed with that one. Okay, so the last thing is the sit-up test. Now, just like everything, there are a couple of ways that you can do this one. Usually, again, if you had a buddy, you would get them to stand on your toes like this, and you bring your chest up so that your elbows touch your thigh or your knees. Now that's one reason why you would have a buddy standing on your toes, but I obviously don't have a buddy, so I'm going to try dumbbells. I'm going to do a little tester. If the dumbbells don't work, the other option is to, and again, anyone at home can use this, is to see how long you can hold a plank. If you're wondering whether to hold a plank on your hands or your forearms, I recommend your forearms. There's nothing wrong with holding a plank on your hands, but if you hold a plank on your hands, it engages your shoulders a little bit more. So forearms are better to measure the core alone. Overall, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna jot everything down, and mainly focusing on my squats and my abs. I'm not too worried about the fitness test. or the push-ups in terms of my snowboarding, but I would like to improve my push-ups anyway. So that's it for the fitness testing. So the only other thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about was the rehab that I will be doing. Hang on, let me hold this a bit better. Was the rehab that I plan on doing. I have had a little bit of a crackle in my knee for a while now, and I have been seeing a chiro about it. So I will specifically be doing in my workouts a lot more glute work than probably, glute work is still great for a snowboarder, but I'll probably be doing a little bit more than what you might necessarily want to be doing. And I will also be doing a lot of foam rolling down the side of my leg. So right down here, really important to foam roll your quads even if you're a snowboarder. I obviously am doing it as a more rehab focus, but if you can get started and do it now, you will seriously benefit from it anyway. I'm really looking forward to getting started on this series. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, because I'm more than happy to answer them as I go. I will be doing video updates on my workouts and my progress. I'm going to try and redo those fitness testing results every month. I'm not going to do my body weight or anything like that. I did all that in the ab challenge, and that's not my focus in terms of training for the snow season. Technically, I would want to be heavier because I can put more weight into my board anyway, because it is an all mountain board, but I do try to be a little bit more playful with it, but it's hard because I'm not the heaviest person. So anyway, like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, please give it a thumbs up if you like it. It really helps support my channel. Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in my next update video. Bye guys.